Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gaman-Singh. Topping our newscast, Juan Louis Hospital officials held a press conference Tuesday to talk about the progress they've made on their systems improvement plan they've developed for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. They also used the time to introduce the 3 new members of the executive management team. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
JFL CEO Dr. Kendall Griffith officially announced Tuesday the additions of Chief Operating Officer Dr. Ken Akolo, Tim Lessing the Chief Financial Officer, and former Senator Emmett Hansen as the Chief Strategic Management and Communications Manager. Those key positions within the executive management team are required by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services as part of JFL's System Improvement Agreement.
It is my intention, with the support of the staff that we have here, who I have since determined to be very competent and well qualified to do the job, that we will turn the hospital around within the time specified by Medicare and provide good quality care.
I've only been here a short time on island. I've been here all of 34 days. But the message loud and clear to me from the community, from the patients, as well as my staff: will this facility be here when my parents need it? And I can soundly say, this is the team that will keep it here for this community.
Okolo is earning $200,000 while Lessing is earning $185,000. Hansen will earn $95,000. All 3 have pledged their commitment to JFL.
While we know that there are people who don't believe the passion and determination that people have for this place, it's okay, because they're on one side, and on the other side there's all of us who intend to make this place the one place, a sanctuary that we can all depend on.
Dr. Griffith spent time talking about the improvements that have been made within the hospital. There was no mention of the $10 million, however, pledged by the VI government that's still needed to fulfill many of the improvements required for the hospital to meet CMS's mandate, but reporters were told it's still coming. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Now, hospital officials said Tuesday's press conference is the first of many like it. They say their plan is to keep the public regularly informed, and they don't feel as if they've done a good job at that in the past. Juan Louis Hospital officials, meanwhile, used that press briefing to announce a number of generous gifts that the medical center received recently, beginning right at home. JFL's holiday committee donated $1,000 to go to the hospital's pediatric ward. The owners of Cane Bay Partners gave the hospital $25,000, with another $25,000 to follow later. The hospital board member Philip Arcidi donated $50,000 on behalf of his family.
I believe in Juan F. Louis Hospital, the executive team here, the direction it's going, the hospital's in, the people that have been here. This hospital can be a catalyst for the Virgin Islands. It could be a catalyst for St. Croix. We haven't even tipped where we can go. So what this can do for the economy, what it can do for jobs, and what it can do to give not only tourism, but the residents and the elderly comfort here, it's a fabulous thing that I feel that I can be part of. So it was my pleasure to give the $50,000 because I know it's an investment.
Earlier this afternoon, Governor Kenneth Mapp sent 2 more nominees' names to the legislature for approval. Nellen Bowery, Director Nominee for Office of Management and Budget. Delroy Richards, Senior Commissioner Nominee for the Virgin Islands Police Department. Governor Mapp stated, "We are hoping for a prompt and favorable confirmation process, thus allowing us to meet mandates and better serve the people of the Virgin Islands." Well, as we mentioned earlier, Interior Assistant Secretary for Insular Affairs, Insular Areas, Esther Kiana, is in the Virgin Islands meeting with Governor Kenneth Mapp and other leaders. Nicolo Pula, Director of Insular Affairs for the Department of the Interior, was also in attendance. Mapp touched on many subjects, including infrastructure, budget assistance, and educational funding to rebuild our schools. Meetings will continue this week as Ms. Kiana and Mr. Pula travels to St. John and St. Croix to meet with the President of the 31st Legislature, Senator James, the Delegate Plaskett, and more. The Department of the Interior is responsible for coordinating federal policy with respect to the USVI and administering U.S. federal assistance. President Obama's fiscal year 2016 budget for the Department of Interior's Insular Affairs Office is $643 million. That request includes $103 million in annual appropriations and $540 million in permanent and indefinite appropriations mandated by law to the U.S. territories and the freely associated states. Insular Areas Assistant Secretary Esther Kiana said the president's budget request demonstrates his strong commitment to the U.S. affiliated insular areas. The VI is scheduled to receive an estimated $211 million in rum cover-over funds. Well, that deadline has passed. Marvin L. Pickering, who's the director nominee of the Virgin Islands Bureau of Internal Revenue, reminds all VI employers that they are required to submit Form W-2 VI, which is the VI wage and tax statement for employment in 2014, to every employee. That deadline was February 2nd. Now, failure to provide an employee with a form by that deadline is subject to a civil penalty of $50 for each return. Form W-2, which is used for employment in the continental U.S., cannot be used for VI employment. He says forms are available at the offices on St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix. Well, police continue to investigate the shooting around the Lionel Roberts Stadium on Sunday that left Lakeel Wade dead. Police spokesman Kevin Jackson said 2 other people were shot on Sunday. One man who was shot told police he was walking in the area towards the basketball court near the Lionel Roberts Stadium, near where Wade's body was found. When he heard multiple shots, a private vehicle rushed him to the hospital. Also on Sunday, police say a man was standing outside of the 21 bar in Savannah about 8:30 p.m. when he heard multiple gunshots being fired. As he began to run, he realized he had been shot in the left calf. Police also continue to investigate the shooting at Cokie Point that left 39-year-old Anthony Charles dead on Saturday. Call VIPD if you have any information on these shootings at 642-8449-911 or Crime Stoppers. Well, turning our attention overseas, President Obama sent a less than receptive Congress a record $4 trillion budget Monday that calls for a 7% increase in defense and domestic spending. The 2016 budget restores some automatic cuts triggered by a 2011 budget deal. His plan would raise defense spending to $585 billion, with major investments in cybersecurity. It would be the highest defense budget in U.S. history, with the lowest war spending since 2002. Republicans on Capitol Hill have already blasted part of a plan to hike taxes on the wealthy to fund $277 billion in tax breaks. Meanwhile, keeping our eye on the economy, Coca-Cola wants you to drink your milk. The soda maker is rolling out Fairlife, which is a premium milk that the company says has more protein and calcium than regular milk. It will sell for about double the price of a regular carton. Coke is trying to diversify as Americans continue to turn away from traditional soft drinks. Well, Staples and Office Depot are reportedly in talks to join forces. Office Depot bought Office Max back in 2013, and if this new merger is approved, it could help the office supply giants compete against online retailers like Amazon. Well, here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all up. The Dow 305, Nasdaq 51, S&P 29. Coming up on News 2, it's Black History Month. Do you know the history of Black History Month? Well, it's February, the month it's recognized. Throughout the entire month, we'll be sharing some history lessons with you. St. Croix's USO building got a facelift Saturday. Dozens of volunteers clean up the government site, clearing away years of trash and debris, doing all they can to lend a hand. The Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority has scheduled water service interruption for the automated standpipe from Wednesday, February 4th at 8 a.m. through Friday, February 6th at 4 p.m. WAPA personnel will be installing a new 8-inch water main to improve the water quality to the standpipe. During the installation, customers needing to use the small standpipe will be directed to receive water from the water distribution building in subbase. Customers needing to use the large standpipe are asked to call the water distribution department at 775-5873 for alternate arrangements. The authority apologizes for any inconvenience caused by this interruption. St. Croix's USO building got a facelift on Saturday. Dozens of volunteers cleaned up the government site, clearing away years of trash and debris. Volunteers also trimmed and cut tree branches, cleared brush, and swept the outside floor. The group dumped more than 100 bags of garbage.
This came about having coffee on the waterfront with Elizabeth Keith, and she said, Diane, I need some help with, I want to clean up the USO building. Who do I call? I said, the only person I know to call is Dawn Bruce. So I gave Dawn a call, and she made it happen.
Anything pertaining to Frederiksted, Christians, that no matter what, once you call the governor's office, the administrator office, things will get done. We got public safety to come in and sweep the building, make sure that no homeless was inside. We got public work to come and secure the door in the back that was eaten away by the termite. And so a lot of people play a big role.
This is a beautiful space, and the community really should be utilizing it. So we're hoping that this effort will be the first stage into helping to revitalize it and make it a place that everyone can use.
We're thinking we'll write a letter to the governor asking him to lease the building to us for a senior citizen center, a youth center, brothers table, clean sweep, spirit of the Artists Guild of St. Croix.
Congrats, job well done. The fire investigation continues. However, Linda Gabriel, who's the president of Mongoose Junction's Merchants Association on St. John, says on behalf of the shops, restaurants, and guest services at Mongoose Junction, she would like to thank the countless number of people who showed support and assisted after that fire on January 23rd, including the fire department, water trucks, St. John Rescue, EMS, WAPA crews, and countless volunteers. She said so many people were affected, including the two businesses that are now in the process of rebuilding. They say plans are in the works for both short and long-term projects for the area. Well, if you hear the tsunami sirens go off on March 26, it's a planned drill. You can put that on your calendar. Vitima will be conducting a territory-wide test of the tsunami early warning system as part of the annual Carib Wave Lantex 14, which is a Caribbean and Northwestern Atlantic tsunami warning exercise. That's between 10 a.m. and 10:15 a.m. In addition to triggering the tsunami siren warning system, the 911 centers will exercise its notification procedure for alerting key government officials. The purpose of the exercise is to, of course, evaluate local tsunami response plans, increase tsunami preparedness, and improve coordination. Schools, government agencies, non-governmental organizations, private sector businesses, and individuals are also encouraged to participate in the exercise. Well, on Monday, many flights to St. Thomas were either canceled or delayed. However, according to VI Port Authority, many flights were on schedule today. A major winter storm rolling through the Midwest and parts of the East Coast caused delays and cancellation. Now, at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport by 10 o'clock this morning, 27 flights were canceled. This morning, Miami International Airport had canceled 41 flights. The snowstorm dumped 17.5 inches of snow on O'Hare International by early Monday and was expected to intensify with accumulations of 9 to 16 inches in Boston and almost as much in Hartford, Providence, southern New Hampshire, and Vermont. Senator Jean Ford, who's chairman of the Senate Committee on Education and Workforce Development, sent a letter to Nandi Siku, who's the chairwoman of the Virgin Islands Board of Education, in regards to legal requirements. He explained under Virgin Islands law, the board is required during the month of January in each calendar year to publish a listing of all available scholarships in 2 newspapers of general circulation for 1 week. He said he has not seen a list appear in the territory's 2 daily newspapers and urges the board to generate and publish one. Well, every February we celebrate Black History Month, and tune into News 2. We will give you some history lessons. Here's a little refresher on the history of Black History Month. The story began in 1915, half a century after the 13th Amendment abolished slavery in the United States. That September, the Harvard-trained historian Carter G. Woodson and the prominent minister Jesse E. Moreland founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. That was an organization dedicated to researching and promoting achievements by Black Americans and other people of African descent. Negro History Week began in 1926. The event inspired schools and communities nationwide to organize local celebrations. By the late 1960s, thanks in part to the civil rights movement and a growing awareness of Black identity, Negro History Week had evolved into Black History Month. President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month in 1976, and it has been celebrated since then. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.